Buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster ride of some tasteless humor, lots of heart, and radical truth with two scrappy chicks. Because adulting is hard, but we are thinking that laughing about it is just so much easier.
Hi, everybody. So happy that you're back to join us. I did want to start today our little segment with the shame, because something I've been wanting to talk about, but we've had other pressing matters happening. And I wanted to start with a shame when it comes to people that you help out of the goodness and love in your heart during a very trying and emergency, stressful situation. You come to certain terms and agreements, and then the script gets flipped once that pressure is removed, once there's no longer a situation and I'll pay you Friday ends up being I'll pay you when I can. And when someone borrows money from you and then promises to pay it back, especially when you remind them of that agreement and then they accuse you of only caring about money and not family, that's to me, that's not an accident. That to me is a manipulative tactic. And it's surprisingly common in situation where someone feels cornered by their own broken promises. Haven't we all come across this with someone now and again? And I just feel that I know that when someone helps you, no matter how many payments it takes, you need to make the effort. That person was there for you when you needed them most, when the chips were down. And now for you to walk away with zero accountability, zero responsibility, and think that that's okay and that they should just let it go is completely unacceptable. It's immoral. And I've helped people out in the past and I have let it go. I'm no longer doing that. What do you think, Ginger?
Yes, I think, as I get older, I pick and choose my circle and, I think maybe I overthink now, you know,
Yep.
cautious. Yes. Um, did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm just
Oh,
listening.
okay.
I'm letting you answer.
You were being silent. I'm like, oh no,
I
are we gonna
know.
have to do this again?
I'm being respectful so that you can have your answer.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just, like I said, my circle is smaller and I am cautious. And I don't mind helping people, but I will say this. I am not like, I won't mention names, but certain person in my past, if they did something for someone, they would expect something in return. And
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. You know what I mean? And it wasn't about it was more about I did this for you, now you owe me, you know? And this person didn't
Instead of
even
it being an
ask.
agreement where
Yeah,
before you laid out the funds, you
yeah,
told that person this needs to get paid back. I can't just walk away from these hundreds of dollars
yeah,
because that's two different things. Helping someone out,
yeah,
like you said, is totally fine.
yeah.
However, when you make an agreement based on certain terms and then they turn around and say, oh, well, now I'm going to rewrite history. I'm going to change those terms because now it's not
Convenient.
once I have this, right, once I have this situation in hand, well, then I'm going to be able to do this for you. And now it's like, now it's nothing. Now it's whenever I can. That's a no. And this happens in all relationships, whether it's friendships, family, could be, a person that you're trying to help out at work. It could be any situation. And like you said, you do have to be careful. You have to be very selective because especially the people closest to you seem to feel like your commitment to them needs to be unquestionable, unshakable, like rock solid, set in stone. But then their accountability to you is always questionable and is always based on ever changing terms and conditions. So that's a that's a shame.
Okay. And like I said, the unnamed person I was referring to would do things, and the other parties didn't even ask, and then they would get like guilt. Well, I did this for you, you owe me.
Well,
And
you're
it's
right.
like,
Neither situation. That's just manipulation. That's
yeah,
not even being like an adult and having a conversation about something. It's like people are just trying to be manipulative.
yeah.
And then
So,
you're the problem because you call them out on their manipulation.
yes.
So
Yes.
next,
Okay.
next lovely and exciting topic.
How about the weather for
Oh,
Illinois?
love it. Love it. Keep
I
it
got the
coming.
windows open.
It's 58 here. Oh my gosh, it was so nice driving today with the sun and the windows down. I did have to put my air on because I was starting to get really toasty.
Did you open the sunroof?
Yes.
You know, funny thing about sunroofs and where we live, I did not buy my vehicle because it had a sunroof. It just happened to have one. I just wanted the RAV4. And when I think about it, I'm like, how often have I used it? Because it's either too hot to have it open and you need the air on, or it's too cold. We've not had many perfect days for it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
fully open. Like
Right.
the other day, I did only open for the sun, but not open it for the air. But yeah, that's the thing about sunroofs. When you live in Illinois, you don't really get to use them much. Because certainly when it's raining, you don't want the sunroof open.
No, and you're right, because even if it's really nice out without that sunroof, sometimes you get really hot with the sun beating down on
Yeah.
your brain.
And then we're playing, what jacket do I wear? Do I even wear a jacket? And it's funny because I took, oh, excuse me, I took the dogs out back, and I was like, do I even need a jacket? It was like I was kind of warm. So it may be hoodie for the next couple of days. It's going to be as warm as they're saying. And it's funny, people from warmer climates, if they were here visiting, they would be like, I'm cold. And we're just like, are you kidding? This is a heat wave for us.
It is, because I saw kids, as I was driving, t-shirts and shorts outside running around. And I'm like, only in Illinois is this possible that it's not even 60 degrees. It's in the 50s and people are running around in t-shirts and shorts, running around outside. I'm like, wow.
Well, at least they were not running around with no clothes. I,
Okay,
I
thank God for the head.
apparently I like to when I was younger, but in my underwear. I like to run around
Well,
outside in my underwear.
because you were a kid. You were a little kid. That's what kids do because they're innocent.
Yeah.
Kids don't know. And you have an announcement to make, don't you?
Yes. We were vacationing Foster, this puppy, and um pretty much decide the day before, because we needed to tell her Wednesday morning that we were going to keep her, and we're crazy. And then it's funny because no sooner did I like pay the adoption fee, the little bugger got a hold of my husband's thermal socks and ruined one of them. And I was like, oh crap. He was so pissed. And I was like, well, she's ours. We're kind of stuck with her. So I just took her away and let him cool down. And now he is very mindful of what is around when she's loose. Puppies get into everything. I
They
mean, it
sure
has
do.
been a long time since we had a puppy. Although Bella, when we got her in 2013, she was 4 months and she was potty trained, and honestly, she was well behaved. So now we get to work with this one, and she loves toys, so that's a good thing. But she likes to nibble on Brother Dexter, and he don't like it. And I think she went too far because he just went "Arr" at her. And hopefully she got the hint that we don't gnaw on our brother. And
Yeah, he's keeping her in check. That's good. The
yeah,
hierarchy.
she's teething, so I got her this toy, and it looks like it's a two-piece. It's like a bone and then a pacifier. So she can chew on that. But it's funny to get on the ground at her level because then she starts barking and then she bounces. And it's the
Aw.
funniest thing to watch her bounce. And she's very smart. She oh, sorry. Hey,
Which
that's
one is that?
Dex. Sure. He heard a door
What?
slam. Dex,
Oh,
that's enough. Not everybody wants to hear you bark. Shh. Okay. Um, as I was saying about her, um, she's very smart. She knows how to climb out of the X pen, so you have to be within eye shot to catch her and tell her no. She doesn't like that word. And there's a couple of times she's walked into the X pen by herself to potty. Otherwise, we have to bring her into her. And she loves her food and water. And what else was I going to say about her? Oh, so I'm convinced she understands when I tell her to sit, lay, and give paw. And he's like, oh, the paw thing's a reflex. I'm like, no, I swear to God, she knows because she watches me do it with Dexter. And then T wanted a dog that would fetch. And she does. You throw the ball and she will bring it back. Sometimes she don't drop it to you. She keeps on going. So you got to tell her, bring it here. And we're trying to teach her release the ball. Dexter
so I have a
just,
question
yeah.
for you on the X Pen thing,
Was
and
I
that
what?
it's she's. I have a question
Yes,
regarding the X Pen thing
yes, yes.
because I've never heard of anybody doing that for like potty training a puppy. I thought you had to take them out more, or no?
Honestly, I don't know when it became a thing because obviously we didn't need it for Bella. She was potty trained. And the puppy I had before that would be Barney when the kids were growing up. And I did not do puppy pads and did not, I don't know, like I said, I don't know when the X Pen was developed, but I took him outside on a leash.
Okay.
And with that, you have to do it more frequently than when they get older, you know? They can't hold it when they're
Mm-hmm.
little. And that's probably
Right.
why I wouldn't have a small dog because small dogs can't hold it
Yeah.
as long as the big dogs.
Because
So
I've never
yeah,
heard of it that way. So like, so then when do you know to transition them, or do they just automatically know by watching the older dog?
well, she is she going on 14, I think she's 14 weeks. So 4 months would be 16 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Bella was bigger than her. She's only like, oh God, she's probably 16 pounds now. So we're hoping within a month that we'll be done with this. She's got a couple more shots to get, and then we could probably start introducing walks and stuff, and then she'll get spaded. And Hopefully she calms down a little. She's got this puppy energy. And the teething, it's like the first year is rough, and it's more so the first couple of months. So yes, pray for me that only another month of this. And like I said, I don't know when this X Pen thing started. I didn't even know it existed until I was pet sitting for my sister-in-law, and she had a new puppy, and she had hers set up in the garage. So I had to take, it was a toy poodle. I had to take her into the garage to the X Pen. And then now that I think of it, I would think she had a door to it, but I didn't see one. So I had to pick her up, put her over the X Pen, and then pick her up again to take her out. But I had to watch her too, because when she pooped, if I didn't grab her right away, she would just jump around and step in her poop. So luckily with this one, she'll poop and then she'll go sniff it. And then I'm like, no, we're done.
She's curious. No, I just had never heard of this X Pen thing. And I'm like, how does this work? This is so foreign. This is so
I
foreign to
know.
me. How is
I
this supposed
know.
to work? But hey, man, whatever works, make your life easy.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Um, I don't know if you remember as a child, but um I had, it's like a playpen. So I remember as a child, I had a playpen and it was big. It was square and it was pretty big. And that's when they realized, when making things, and especially in houses with the stairway and the spindles, how you needed to have it closer together because kids were getting their heads stuck. And I want to say I did get my head stuck in my playpen. And Hoagie got his head stuck in the spindles at his house down south. And it was metal. And his dad had to go get like a jack and widen it to get his head out. So yeah, so now that's code to not have those spindles so wide. And with this one having a little neck, um, the spindles on our stairs, we had to cover them because she's so curious. And if she would have put her head through and looked down, she could have easily went and fell. So it's
Yeah,
like having a
yeah,
puppy is like having a baby. You gotta like puppy proof the house.
yeah.
So
It
and
is.
put
It's like
it
having
with,
children.
can't talk. So I guess I'm not too crazy, or too old to do this because my sister just got a puppy. So you're never too old to get a puppy.
Or cat.
Yeah. Well, I decided when I do get a cat, it's going to be um one or under, and a boy, and likes dogs. I don't want to deal with the kitten stage. After dealing with the puppy, as cute as they are as kittens, I don't want to deal with the kitten stage.
And there's
To each his
more
own.
older cats, there are more older cats too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and speaking of cats, and I know you said you wanted a male because I have two little boys, and you know them very well. And Geo is part Persian, and from what I understand, is the breed they have issues with bladder. And this is like the third time in a year that he's exhibiting issues with his bladder. And I'll let you know what we did though that I think triggered it is that there was a water treatment that we were using for our two other cats, which they did well with. Stella and Rocco did very well with it. Geo got a flare up. And also, too, I was also not giving as much wet food, and his breed needs to have more wet food. So he wasn't on an antibiotic again. And still, it seemed like, continually going to the bathroom, to the litter box, because he can't continually felt like he had to go. So I remembered we used this one product, and it's called Tinkle Tonic. And it's specifically for cat and dog urinary tract and bladder health. And literally within the first day, I could tell he was doing better. And now we're about 4 or 5 days. It's very easy to dose him. He likes it. It's sweet. And he's sleeping right now. And he's so much more comfortable now, where he's not constantly running to the poor litter boxes. He feels
Oh,
like he has to go.
poor
And
baby.
I know, because then you just feel so sorry for them, because and they can't tell you. So I just happened to be up really early and noticing him, going in and out of the litter box. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Here we go again with this. And my coworker, she's the one that I adopted Geo from. She's got 3 of his litter mates, 3 girls. And when I was telling her about Geo, because I was kidding, I'm like, I'm about ready to give this cat back to you. She's like, why? What's going on? And I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I think the little girls might be having the same issue, because she's got one of those litter boxes that, once they go in and they leave,
Hmm.
that it does like a sifting
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of.
Yeah. One of my customers has that.
Yeah. And she said between the 3 of them, within 3 days, they had used the litter box 60 times, 60.
Wow.
And even she's like, I was wondering about that. She's like, I know that I have 3 cats. She's like, but that seemed very high. And then she's like, oh my God, I feel like a bad cat owner. I'm like, had I not seen him do this, I wouldn't know. Ginger, I wouldn't know. How do you
Hmm.
know? And she's got the pretty litter. So even she said the litter hasn't changed. So I don't think they have a UTI or an infection,
Hmm.
but just this irritated bladder where they can develop crystals. And it's the freaking breed. They're Persian, part Persian. And so yeah, so in case anybody has any Persians out there, has any advice, I'm open to suggestions
Yeah.
to help this little boy.
Where do you get
Um,
Tinkle Tonic? Online?
chewy, chewy.
Chewy? Okay.
Yeah, you can get it pretty quickly. And 2 ounce bottle will last quite a bit. Right now I'm only doing it once a day. You can do it up to 3 times a day, and they tell you, weight and everything. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. He seems to be doing really well with it. And now I'm back to giving him more wet food, and I always add a little more water too to the wet food. Make sure that they have fresh water every day. No water treatments. No, no. And he does have a urinary care dry food. And I didn't give him the urinary care wet food because a couple of reasons. Because, I have 3 cats here, and Rocco was not eating enough, and I could tell he was losing weight. He was not enjoying that food. So I'm trying to find something that, they all like. And even Geo was not digging the wet food for the urinary care. The dry food, can I tell you? The urinary care, I use the urinary care dry food as a treat. Stella loves it, Geo loves it, Rocco could care less, but I use it now as a treat instead of buying treats. And so far so good. He's doing a lot better. There's just always something, Ginger, I'll tell you.
Right.
You just don't know what's going on. And animals, even dogs too. Sometimes you don't know something is off with them until it reaches critical mass. So I love them. I love them dearly. They're precious. It's all I can do to, do the best that I can for them to make sure they have the best food, best water, comfy home, no stress. Because they said stress can cause it too. And I'm like, what stress? He's a cat. He's got no stress. This cat's got the life of Riley living here. So
Right.
Right? I know you and I are the same, where people would look at us and be like, "You're crazy. It's just a cat. Why are you going through all that?" Because they're precious. They're my precious babies, and they deserve the absolute best I can give for them. And when they're not happy, mama's not happy. When he's not well, I'm not well. It's like I cannot, like Ginger, seriously, and you're the same way. Like you just cannot rest or be at peace until they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So yes, we love our babies.
I know. My dream would be to live on lots of acres and have a
Yes.
bunch of
Oh,
cats,
so let me tell you,
dogs,
I would totally
horses,
do that. Rescue.
cows,
Oh
a
yes.
donkey. Gotta have a donkey.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we can put that on our little wish list, our
Put a
little wish
picture of
list
a
vision
jackass
board, like a little.
on my vision board.
I was like, oh, you said you want a jacket. No, see, I don't want a date. I don't want a jacket.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has a pony and a donkey. And I can't remember
Oh,
which one was lonely. And he got the
oh,
other one, and now they're not lonely. And he has them come in his kitchen. It is the cutest thing.
oh, love it. Love it.
Who'd have thought Arnold Schwarzenegger has a big heart and a sucker for animals,
Well, that's the only kind of people we like, right?
right?
When you are kind to animals, that says everything to me about a human being. You got to be kind to animals.
Yeah, because if you're not, we're going to find you and crush you.
That's right. Ginger will hold you down, and I will say, "Who's driving? Whose car are we taking?"
Right?
Well,
Okay.
and I know you and I were talking too, and I know it's not exactly on our list, but I just wanted to pipe in real quick about, you know, I'm so like laser focused on determining and being very laser focused about my inner circle, about who I associate with, and being very careful who I give my energy to. And that includes all kinds of relationships. And we should all be very, very active about who we have in our lives. And I was saying, when, who knows, there's that whole list of like the perfect person for you. You know what I mean? Like they need to have all these qualities and no less. And you should have all these qualities, no less, for that other person. Okay. And then, one of the things is before you become intimate with anybody, you should be asking them to go get a STI, STD test, right? Because
Yes.
people lie or they just don't know. That's true too. And then my next thing was, well, now with all this other craziness going on, I want a DNA test. So that's going to be another little hurdle. Should I ever care to date anybody that I'm just meeting, as opposed to someone that I've known, that I know for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and it's too bad that we're kind of at that stage, I think. And what can I say? When you know, you know. And
Right.
sometimes, especially for me, it's just to be better to be single. And no matter what relationship you're in, all relationships have challenges. Everybody struggles. But if you find yourself in a toxic relationship where you're just constantly miserable, it's okay to reevaluate. Actually, I was included in a text for someone. I won't name names or even the relation to how I know them, but they've been wanting a separation from their significant other just to get some time and some space to like regroup and gather up um their thoughts, and you know what I mean? They got stuff going on with kids and everything, and they just needed some time and some space to figure their stuff out. And they're also dealing with some health issues, some scary health issues, and that is okay. That you might need some time and some space. And who knows, maybe through that you'll be like, hey, sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. And you might be
Yes.
like, we needed a break. I'm glad we had that break. Now can we sit and talk because, I missed you. I know we've been going through a lot, or, whatever. Or maybe you're just like, okay, well, I've realized now that, maybe you're not happy, I'm not happy. Maybe we just need to talk about going our separate ways. But that's a very personal decision, and doesn't matter what relationship you have. Not that you should expect perfection, but you should have, you know, some kind of peace and happiness in any relationship. Does that make sense? I know. I feel like I'm talking in circles. It kind of, there's a lot of intricacies to it.
Yes.
But I feel
And
like as long as that person meets all those things on that list for you, and then you meet all those things on that list, I think pretty much anything can be um, taken care of, worked on together, right? Working on it together.
yes. And
Yeah, and that's all
have you
relationships.
um covered this in your Solo and Sovereign series?
I I am. It's going to be included.
Okay.
Oh
Yes,
yes.
please.
Oh, you mean wait, you mean the part about the DNA? That I am gonna say that too. Besides the STD, STI, I think there needs to be a DNA test. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joking, ha 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 ha, not joking.
Um, so update on the cases we've been following. Um, there is not really much of an update with the Tepe murder, except that he is Michael McKee still incarcerated, and there's a status hearing, I think like the 23rd of February, but they said it may be a while before there's even a court case because they need to do evidence, discovery, and all that. The lawyers gotta share it with each other. So, um, really not much to update that. And not sure if Ohio is the state that records um, uh, trials. If so,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll tune in. But if not, we'll just have to go by what the update is during the trial, like what the news lets us know. And then the other update was that local one at Oswego murder, where the ex-husband um, went after his ex-wife, and he's still in prison. His next court date is the 9th of February, and he put a tracking device on her vehicle and
Mm-hmm.
stalked her
Mm-hmm.
4 times prior. So, and I've heard, and I've seen this in some of my Facebook groups where these women are like, there's a freaking thing coming up that there's an air tag around me. And people are like, well, first thing is check your car. So, um, do you know if there's a device that you can like scan your car and it will beep if there's a tracking device? Because sometimes
I don't know.
they're very
Yeah.
small.
Well, I saw one thing, and I don't know how accurate this is. One guy at a mechanic shop was throwing like dirt on the doors, and where there was like a pattern, and then they opened up the door and pulled off the panel, that there was a tracker inside the door. I think because it has a frequency or a magnetic thing, that when they threw the dirt on the door, you could kind of see where there was like that pattern. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah,
So I don't know if you want to do that, but here's the thing. They can secure it other ways besides just magnetic.
yeah.
And was it Monique saying too that he was tracking her? No, I think it's a different case. Yeah, it's a different case. Um, there was a young girl, young girl. I was watching her this on Crime Analyst, where this woman's young daughter was murdered by her ex, and she kept he would slash her tires and she would take the car and get tires replaced, and they kept finding multiple trackers on her vehicle. I'm going to talk about that too on my Solo and Sovereign series, but it's become quite the problem, right? That
Hmm.
who's tracking you and how easy it is for people to do that. So yeah, we
Yes,
got to look into how we can, if there's something that we can do ourselves to kind of scan our vehicles to make sure we're not being.
yes. And if you use Snapchat, there's a feature on there where you can, I want to say it will show wherever you are, like 24/7, unless you put no. And I put no because no one needs to know where I'm at.
Oh yeah, I did that on my phone. So many apps on your phone track you,
Hmm.
and I had to go through a bunch of apps and turning that off and then sharing your data to improve their services. I'm like, no, improve your own
Yeah,
services. You're not tracking me.
your mama.
Yo, mama.
All right, so
So yeah,
yeah, we'll have to look into if there's something that you can get to like scan your car, or if
yeah,
there's an app in your phone.
yeah, maybe. Well, and that's the thing too. Are these iPhones? Because I'm curious to
If
know
it's
how
an
they were
air
getting
tag,
notified.
if it's an
AirTag?
air tag, it will come up that there's an air
Okay,
tag, I believe, on an iPhone. Now with the
okay.
Android and somebody puts an air tag, I don't think that there would something would come up saying, "Hey, there's an air tag."
Yeah. Let's look into that because now you really have got my curiosity piqued
Yeah.
on that one.
But Apple's not the only one that makes air tags. I mean, there's a whole bunch. In fact, I bought some around Christmas for the intention of um, keys, and it's not a bad idea, although this one is a very small range. I think T may have a bigger range, but I know some people put it on their dog collars, um, and that's
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
If your dog gets loose and you can look on the map, hey, where is my dog?
Good idea. Oh yeah, that's helpful. We can look at that too, kind of let people know the good brands that are out there to do. Yeah. And can you believe it's already, hurry, we're almost done. We got to
Yeah.
wrap it up.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a little bit of everything, kind of like a going to a buffet and you get a whole bunch of variety.
Yeah, because when you're with us, we bounce all over the place, all different kinds of topics.
Yes,
We keep it fresh and exciting,
we sure do. So,
unpredictable.
right? So until next time, uh, like, subscribe, write a
Share.
review, join our Facebook group, TikTok, Instagram, and downloads count. You got to listen at least 60 seconds.
Every
And
little
we'll
bit helps.
see.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep, see you next week.
We love our scrappy peeps. So thank you all for joining us and becoming part of our flock. So please like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't like us, unfortunately, yo mama. But if you do like us, we look forward to seeing you next time on Two Scrappy Chicks.